and even on the TV. Good morning to y'all. Thank you for letting us come into your hearts, your eyes, your homes, and your ears.
Yeah.
We got a very exciting show for you this morning, where we gonna unpack and unload a lot of the information that we've come by throughout the week. Each and every Friday, we like to bring to you various information as to the well-being of our city, our parish, and also anything that could affect our public safety, could affect the spending of our tax dollars, and just our government in the whole. We bring you the very best and very latest of news.
Right. Before I call the prayer wire, you want to give it the disclaimer, or you want to give it after I call the prayer wire?
Doesn't matter how you do it.
Okay, let me call the prayer wire, because everyone knows that we like to get our show started with a prayer, and we got a wonderful prayer warrior.
Good morning.
Good morning,
sweetie.
Good morning, prayer warrior. How's everything going?
Everything's going wonderful, sweetie.
Well, on Friday we like to call you and let you activate our spirit for all those that's viewing us.
Absolutely. I have a message for us then.
All right. We're ready to listen.
Okay. This message for September 16th. It says, from God, I designed you to live in union with me. This union does not negate who you are. It actually makes you more fully yourself. When you try to live independently of me, you experience emptiness and dissatisfaction. You may gain the whole world and yet lose everything that really counts. Find fulfillment through living close to me, yielding in my purposes for you. Though I may lead you along paths that feel alien to you, trust that I know what I am doing. If you follow me wholeheartedly, you will discover facets of yourself that were previously hidden. I know you intimately, far better than you know yourself. In union with me, you are complete. In closeness to me, you are transformed more and more into the one I designed you to be. This information can be found in Mark chapter 8:36, Psalms 139, chapter 13 to 16, and Corinthians, 2 Corinthians chapter 3, 17 to 18.
Wonderful, wonderful. You always know how to activate my spirit. And I think everyone here, even the director of the show, we're all activated this morning. We want to thank you.
You are more than welcome. I thank you guys for giving me the privilege. I thoroughly appreciate it.
Right on, right on.
Thank you.
We couldn't have it no other way.
Thank you for that beautiful word of encouragement.
Thank you, and I want to say hi to King.
Okay.
Because you guys are just awesome together. Thank you for being a down-to-earth right-hand man, King.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You're quite welcome.
I thank my God for him too. And we thank God for you.
And I thank you guys, and for Brother Jay.
Thank you.
You know what, you guys, I will send you guys something, and I will send you guys something.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
We're on the way.
That's right.
All right. Well, look, you have a blessed day. Have a wonderful day, and we're going to talk to you soon.
There goes that.
Absolutely. I love you. Stay blessed.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. There goes that southern train.
Yeah.
But before we get into it this morning, I want to put the disclaimer out there. The views and opinions expressed today does not reflect the views and opinions of Acadiana Open Channel, Cox Communication, LU Fiber, Lafayette Consolidated Government, or Digital Soul Media. It solely the views and opinions expressed today solely reflects the views and opinions of the host, the guests, and the directors. Which we don't have any guests today. We're gonna try to do it like you the guest, the audience, the audience the
We're
guest.
gonna allow you guys to be the guests today.
To call in and talk about whatever you feel you want to talk about. Call in and let's talk about it. I think the number is on the screen, and for those watching through our various other platforms besides terrestrial TV, the call-in number is 337-347-7236. Again, it's 337-347-7236.
Well, this morning, Pete, it's like breaking news.
Correct.
You know, we got some stuff that's going on in LCG. You know,
And before we get into it this morning, I just want to send out a couple of condolences. I want to send out a condolence to the Jones family on the loss of Crip, Leonard Crip Jones, who had a chance to operate one of the oldest establishments in Lafayette, Club Spice. And also, we want to send our condolences out to jazz artist Mr. Ramsey Lewis. Died at 87. We know he was a great performer, musician. Everything about him was awesome. And then also, we'd like to send our condolences out to the R&B singer, Mr. Jesse Powell.
Yeah.
You know. And couple of announcements. We got one announcement. The Okri Festival, which is coming up on tomorrow, which is going to go down tomorrow, September 17th. And I'm trying to pull up information on the Okri Festival, and there it goes. Free event packed with fun for the entire family. The Louisiana Okri Festival, Saturday, September 17, 2022, 12 noon to 6 p.m. The historical Hammond Park is the location, 1500 South Orange Street, Lafayette, Louisiana. For sponsorship consideration, call 337-501-7617. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Wallace.
I want to thank the producer, the wife of the producer, for putting these wonderful shirts. You know, I don't know if how good y'all can see the logo, but they are very beautiful. When we got here this morning, we were surprised with these, and they are very wonderful. You know, I want to thank you guys for all that y'all do to make media move in the city and the parish of Lafayette, or around the world, you could say, because we're not just on TV in a few cities or anything like this, and we're worldwide right now, you know.
And just a note, Brother Keith, go to the Community Media YouTube page, do a search for, Community Matters TV on Facebook, Community Matters TV, and you will find the live feed today in case you are driving around or you're somewhere else in the world. Don't drive and look at your phone, but don't drive and watch TV, but check out Community Matters TV on YouTube. We just got it up and running.
Right, the Community Matters page, where the Community Matters TV page, where you can watch us live each and every Friday, and you can watch the show that's going on today. Brother Jay, you wanna open up the conversation?
Well, they got some legislative people out there, and maybe Representative Vincent Pierre might call in. What do you think about some legislative people want to push that Louisiana do away with their sales tax? That is very big news if they happen to get it in some type of committee form and get it passed a couple of times. Me personally, I think it won't pass because of the nature of Louisiana. It's not so much I'm for it, it's not so much I'm against it, but the way Louisiana managed things, we in poor shape as far as the money getting to the people, or let's say the thing that they promised us we haven't gotten. Remember gambling? Remember gambling?
Yeah.
Remember economic betterment with the oil and gas industry?
Yeah.
Everybody coming here get a tax break. Even our good old favorite team, Brother Keith, New Orleans Saints. Everybody got a tax break except the people. And the thing is, we want a tax break, but we still gonna suffer. They gonna pass it on through sales tax.
Okay.
Now that's just my opinion. You guys chop it up.
Yeah, well, you know, what I can't understand.
Well, the income tax,
Yeah.
they want to get rid of.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The income tax. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Income tax, you know, they're putting more money in people's household and their pocket, however they want to do it. I know other states don't have
Texas.
taxes. Florida is one.
But Mr. Wallace, I can agree with you too on that, but you also got to look at it this way: that income, the income tax was a revenue mechanism to make up for some lost revenue or wherever the revenue is needed. So if they do away with the income tax and 2 or 3 years down the line they find out that there's revenue being lost that they need to make up for, where they gonna put that revenue? What, they gonna go up on the taxes in the stores, or they gonna go up on the taxes, the sales taxes, or they gonna go up on the property tax?
And even if you say tax the oil and gas industry, they already got the lobbies, and they're not paying too much taxes, and they're making all the money.
So everything that looks good, everything we think is good, everything, it's always a downfall.
For this state, yeah.
Yeah, for this state here in the state of Louisiana, it's always a downfall to everything that we think that looks good.
Yeah, but see, this is why our state is so broke. You know, we don't have the proper roads, we don't have the proper economics here, like talking about it, because anybody can come over here and shoot the sham. You know, we can hire 500 people. If we get tax break, you give them tax break, they might hire 50 people here and 200 people from somewhere else. So, you know, or bring their own little regime to come work when you give them the tax break.
Correct.
You know? So all these things, you know, we got to look out for. But we ain't getting a break from Jolly Gildy.
No.
We was talking about this, Keith, you know. If we want to access some public information,
Public records.
go to public records and ask for certain things.
Gilder administration they set this new policy, which I believe when it comes to policy making dealing with the general public, I believe it should come from dealing with collecting any funds from the general public. I believe it should be that should be decided by
The
councils.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. The Giller administration put a new policy in place to where if you want to request public records, in order for you to get those public records, you either got to go stand up at City Hall and look at it through a glass for free, and you look at it through a glass. You don't leave with it, or get a digital copy for $1 a page. You know.
And if whatever you need off of one page, just take it off that one page, pay your $1 and leave. You know. But I don't feel it's fair. You know, you got public records, you know, and we can't get the information that we would like to have, you know. And I know why he done it, you know, because people like you and I can't really afford it. You understand me? So, because we can't really afford it, well, guess what? We can't go get it.
Correct. And there's investigations in Washington, there's investigations in Georgia, and there's investigations here in Lafayette, Louisiana. There's a whole lot that's going on, and we're gonna try to touch bases on it all. First, Lafayette police chief candidate, 4 police chief candidates passed the police chief exam through the civil service and municipal fire. Jamie Angel is saying that the hiring process, well, the interview process, will start in October, the beginning of October, and we should have a police chief by November. The 4 remaining candidates in the that's still in the running for the chief position is give me a minute, I'm trying to pull it up. Former Louisiana State Trooper Brian Ardoin scored an 81 on the exam, and then we got Lafayette Police Department Sergeant Dorian Bradham scored an 88, and retired FBI Special Agent Charles DeLauder scored a 76, and Lafayette Police Commander Judith Eastor scored a 76 on the Fire and Police Board test, Civil Service test. Lafayette Police Department Major DeWitt Sheridan didn't score enough to continue in the running, and that's that.
Man, I wish DeWitt would have scored enough, because guess what? he's well qualified, even though he didn't make the. He's been on the police force for a long time.
Correct.
You know, and he made major and stuff like this here. So, you know, a lot of things that we can have seem like when it gets down to it, it runs into a roadblock.
Correct.
You know? Yeah. So you heard Jeff Landry had made his announcement that he was going to run for governor. Come on now.
Let's talk, Brother James. Jeff Landry running for governor.
Why do I have that bad feeling in the bottom pit of my stomach? If you look at Jeff Landry, a lot of people in Louisiana, in this area, I'm going to say that's my opinion on your show, they seem to tolerate, or they like the MAGA crowd. Me, I can't tolerate it. That is my personal thing, because if you look at Ron DeSantis of Florida, look at Greg Abbott of Texas, even in a wheelchair, he's doing some wicked stuff, some wicked, evil stuff, taking these poor immigrants and shipping them to so-called Democratic towns. But you remember, they're not sending them to some of the white Democratic towns.
We're sending them to the
black Democratic towns, Chicago, New York, and even sending them to Massachusetts, to the so-called liberal resort towns where they don't have no type of help. So you got to understand, somebody in a wheelchair that damn evil, you know,
could barely walk.
He didn't have enough universal, what do they call that, the reciprocity at him with being in a wheelchair, but he still want to enact his evil stuff. So that's a long story short. You know, Brother J go deep dive into stuff. If we have a Jeff Landry who's much more in tune to a person like DeSantis, Abbott is a little bit better, and he's evil, you know, what gonna happen to the state of Louisiana and everybody else if he gets in office?
They could get up and Jeff Landry can walk soon.
Look out, Bobby Jindal. Bobby Jindal might be coming back in disguise.
Well, you know, Bobby Jindal actually is just like when we say, oh, Brother Wallace, I could tolerate a George Bush compared to what we had in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I could tolerate a Bobby Jindal compared to what if we get a Jeff Landry.
Yeah.
We don't need a Jeff Landry as governor. So people, it's behind you. Every vote counts. If you can't put your hand on your voter's registration card, you need to re-register. And if you're not registered to vote, you need to go get registered.
I heard a caller say on one of the talk shows, this send the system into shambles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, just go ahead and don't vote and let a Jeff Landry get into the system, and we're going to be sent to the shambles unless that's, you know, I got to think some of those callers are I don't want to use the word, I saw it in the boondocks. They the MAGA crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Those callers who say stuff like that, telling people don't go vote, and my thing is not necessarily vote willy-nilly, brother Paul, is to have a reason to vote,
mm-hmm.
and know the person you vote, know the issue you vote.
Yeah, don't just let anybody vote for you and you don't vote yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what you're telling me. Telling me don't go vote, so I'm gonna let anybody vote in my place, and they gonna put who they want in office to do what they want to do.
Y'all get out there and vote.
Yeah.
Every vote counts. Y'all get out there and vote. They come up with these theories that the voting system is rigged.
Mm-hmm.
They come up with these theories that your vote don't count. That is a sham. And they come up with those theories because they don't want people to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people, a certain section of people, they don't want you to vote.
And voting got to be good, because look at all the things that they're going through to stop your vote, not for you to vote. You know, I could go back to when we had, it wasn't called early voting then, it was called absentee voting.
Absentee vote.
You know, and we didn't know nothing about, well, we knew about absentee voting, but until, you know, they gave us the right to vote early, and we didn't have to have no excuse, it changed everything. You know, you got 7 days to vote early. You got 1 day to election day voting, and that's the last day. So within that 7 days, you know, try to get out there and cast your ballot. You know, make sure you have your voter's registration card. Make sure everything is in order. That's as bad as your voter's registration card is almost as good as your driver's license. If you got your driver's license, I remember one time I needed my address, you know, and I didn't have the address when I went there, but I had my voter's registration card in my pocket, and when I pulled it out, I said, that's the only thing I have my address on. She said, that's good enough, you know. So, you know, don't get caught without your voter's registration card.
And I could add, people pay attention to that last big election. I keep ranting and raving about that. They pulling shenanigans sometimes in some of the precincts that not monitored, and they think, you know, the average person won't complain if you go and pull a lever and you can't pull a lever for the person you're supposed to vote, because they didn't change those voting precincts. I know in Iberia Parish. Now, if you have a complaint, call the state, get together, make it public that you didn't have your your right to vote treated fairly. Make it public. Don't keep it quiet and say, listen, oh well, that's probably a mistake, and move on. Because they'll tell you. They told me, well, call the state voting office. Well, I waited outside the precinct. Nobody called me back. So I called that Monday, because it was on that Saturday. Nobody called me back. And you know, maybe I was suffering from voter apathy. The outcome probably was not going to probably be the same anyway. But the point is, my vote didn't count where it should have counted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Correct. And moving on to what's happening here in Lafayette. Correct. That's the thing. We got to get out and vote. We got to make sure our votes get recorded correctly, and we also got to make sure our voting paperwork is correct. Column. City Council, and this is coming from the Current. City Council investigation isn't political theater. Isn't a political theater. It's democracy. Mayor President Josh Guillory is calling an investigation.
We got a call coming in. Go on, finish.
Calling an investigation politically theatered is a funny way to show respect for the process, which was jump-started by the City Council this week. Putting aside the obvious pettiness, the bigger issue here is how Guillory has repeatedly disrespected the process for how local government is supposed to operate. It's the very reason the City Council needs to conduct the investigation in the first place, to exercise its oversight authority over a seemingly out of control administration. The investigation isn't political theater. It's our democracy in action. Okay, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, caller. You can hear us, caller.
Good morning, caller.
What do you want to speak? Good morning, caller.
I can hear you.
All right.
Okay, good. How you doing this morning?
All right, and y'all too.
Oh, we just trying to get a few things together.
I don't know if y'all saw Clay Higgins made national news. I disrespect a woman of color calling a boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was a witness pleading a case, and he's a congressman or a senator. He should have listened. That's what he's up there for. That's what he got elected for. But to show you how arrogant he is, and he might be high when he was up there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I heard he's an alcoholic, like somebody I know.
You got a whole bunch of them.
Went for 21 days for rehab, and we don't know that because it's not public records. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And when they interviewed his wife and stuff, little Trump I call him, he didn't, his wife, they didn't ask his wife if he was violent around the house, or he did this around the house when he was, you know, to the kids or to her. And she said everything was perfect. He was the best husband she
ever
had.
made. Mm-hmm.
You know? So, it's just a lot of things going on. Trump's still up there saying if they indicted him for something, it's going to be, all hell's going to break out.
All hell gonna break loose. Shit, like January 6th, all hell gonna break loose.
Yeah, he's trying to incite another January 6th stuff, and what he's doing is laying the groundwork for other things to happen in different states, and it's amazing that Jeff Landry want to run for governor, and he's the playbook out of Ron DeSantis in Florida, and Greg Abbott in Texas. And what do you think about them sending those migrants, taking them on the bus and just shipping them somewhere else to other people's jurisdiction?
Yeah, but talking about that, if he wins Jeff Landry, I might leave the state.
Wow.
You know what's wrong with? I'm gonna let y'all talk after this. You know what was happening in Lafayette? That meeting at the Como Rec Center
Correct.
every week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a blue law or sunshine law. They have a meeting with the officials and choose this when they have the city council is already done. All they have to do is just vote on it. You know, and they don't, that, they want that meeting, tell them to come to the city council when they have the choosers meeting and voice their opinion. But they'll voice their opinion by themselves, the Republican Party. It's all like when we talk about Jeff Landry. You remember when they had that little planned meeting at the convention center?
Correct. I was just about to talk
and
about
then they announced it after
it.
Everything is over.
Correct.
They didn't announce it to the public. It was open to the public, but there were special people that was there
That they wanted there.
that wanted there to do the Republican Party. So y'all have a good show, guys, and y'all keep up the good work.
Okay,
Don't
thank
get
you.
discouraged.
Oh, no.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
Keep it forward because we need a lot of people to. Everybody got their own opinion, and the way things are going right now, the Democrats is the worst party. If you listen to them,
Yeah.
Trump didn't do nothing.
Trump didn't
The
do it.
Republicans got all the answers, and the Democrats don't have no answer at all.
Yeah, Trump didn't
But
do
if
it.
it wouldn't have been for, you know, social welfare, food stamp, Social Security, the Democrats did that, not the Republicans. And I can go on and on with some stuff.
Yeah.
But if people think if you're a vote Republican, they're gonna wave a wand and everything gonna be perfect. The economy gonna go so great, you know. So y'all have a good weekend. Thanks for listening to me.
All right, appreciate the call.
You too. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend. Thank you for calling in. I know I was talking about the investigation earlier, but to step to the side and talk about what he was talking about, what's going on with Big Trump. Man, people are getting off the handle for Big Trump.
Yeah.
Man, I believe it was in Florida. A guy just this week walked in a restaurant. Forget the name of the restaurant. Walked in the restaurant wearing a rainbow-colored wig and a reflective vest, yellow reflective vest, with a 9mm and an assault rifle in his hand, and put $120 on the counter for tips, saying that he'd give $120 tip to anybody that's not Democrat. And then he said he was there to kill everybody that's going against President Trump. Because Trump is still president. King President Trump is still president. He said he'd kill anybody in the Democratic Party.
And you know, is all of that stuff is that's theater they create. They got a bunch of crazies, right? Bunch of see, you got your crazies, you got your racists. But even those so-called established Republicans who, you know, the George Bush type, by they being silent on that, they're letting this stuff go on. A lot of them want this to go on, not because they blatantly are racist, because a lot of them feel that we have to have some type of buffer zone against those liberal Democrats and stuff like that. And they know better. And the thing is, if we can't make them understand where they're going down this slippery slope, this country is at the poise, in a sense, for civil war. And don't say it can't happen. You know, look what happened with Russia and Ukraine. Nobody thought Russia was going to attack Ukraine on that level. So don't never think this country is not far from that type of situation happening internally.
Correct.
Well, you know, the Texas governor sent a whole bunch of Ukrainians to Washington, D.C. You know, as far as I'm concerned, they done the people like they did in Katrina.
Right.
You know, when they finally got those buses in there, people was leaving New Orleans. They didn't know where they was going. You know, some people wound up way in Idaho. You know, and that was far for them to be away from their home. You know, even though they didn't have much, to go back to after Katrina, but they did the same thing too. My thing is, why everything that's good is the Republican, everything that's bad is the Democrat? You know, let's go back to President Obama when he was president. He was one of the best presidents that we ever had, but he could never do nothing right. Everything was wrong. Mitch McConnell was the one that got on TV and said, we're going to make him a one-term president. And they couldn't do it. But the thing of it is, they put him in a position where he couldn't do a whole lot. And one of the things I wanted him to do is straighten out the voting rights.
Right.
Give us a chance to get reparation, you know, and things like this. And he didn't do none of that because he couldn't. You
Correct.
know, somebody bigger than Trump, George Bush, or President Obama, Biden, somebody is bigger than all of them. Somebody run this country, and we're not going to put this on God. God take care of his country, you know. But man always have to have something other than what we're supposed to have, you know. And the Republican Party, once we got a Democratic president, nothing we could do is right.
The Tea Party went from, the conservative George Bush Republicans went from that to the Tea Party, from the Tea Party to the MAGA crowd. And that's, you talk about some things that improved, this thing got considerably worse. Because one of the things I would say for everybody, black media in this area, or newspapers, or even regular media, when we talk to those candidates, Keith, even the Republicans, we ought to put a litmus test question to them. Do you support Donald Trump and the MAGA crowd, make America God great crowd, in all their beliefs? Ask them that. Because they will come into the black community. Some of them. We know one, especially the U.S. Congressman. He used black folks against each other. We know he's good at that. He goes to civil rights organizations. We know he's good at that. The question I propose is those organizations, like the NAACP, if they ever have to question or go to a forum that they sponsor with Clay Higgins, ask him if he supports his God President Donald Trump. You know, that's a litmus test for me. Now, if he lies, we know he lied. But if he tells, well, you know, I support Donald Trump, well, then we know where to go from there. We know what we expect.
Not to vote for him. But back to the investigation that's happening here in Lafayette. Surprisingly, Guillory's doing everything he can to redefine the narrative, and that sounds a lot like Washington. You know, it sounds a lot like what happened in Washington in 2020. Sounds a lot like that, and by dismissing it as petty politics, by claiming the investigation was his idea, by shaming the council about spending $100,000 to investigate $1 million worth of public spending, by continuing to purport transparency while refusing to answer questions from the council or the press. His actions speak so much louder than his words. A reminder of how we got here. In early June, the City Council requested the administration's answer a lengthy and detailed list of questions about the various drainage projects that have landed LCG in court and potentially waste tens of millions of taxpayer dollars. But Guillory refused to answer any of the questions, claiming that he and his staff were too busy, and suggested the council pursue an audit. If he'd at least made a half-hearted attempt to answer some of the questions, this investigation may not be happening right now. But instead, he chose to obstruct the inquiry, forcing the council hand. Now the council has called his bluff and he's got the audacity to ding them for wasting tax dollars. How did he expect them to fund the audit he called for? We've reached the point where the council has no choice but to investigate Guillory's reckless drainage spending. Here is a running list of the legal and regulatory minefield Guillory has dragged LCG into: local permitting violations, federal permitting violations, public bid law violations, federal environmental protection violations, non-compliance with federal procurement regulations, violating private property rights, illegal purchasing property, and substantially civil liability. And that's just the legal ramification. The administration had made a series of bad policy decisions on these projects too. Lying to St. Martin Parish about LCG's action and intent, likely hurting our credibility for years to come. Paying enormous sum of money on projects of Dubai's value. Flagrantly disregarding checks and balances of the mayor president's authority. All of these mistakes cost city, you don't hear parish, city taxpayers money in legal fees, fines, and settlements. There's a universe where LCG pays millions to put dirt it dug up back where it came from. Honestly, the magnitude and multitude of problems on the Cypress Islands Spall Banks controversy alone warrants an investigation. But the millions wasted on the project are small potatoes compared to the mountains of money at risk elsewhere. The state is withholding $22 million in reimbursement because LCG paid a contractor to dig ponds on land not owned by LCG. If LCG can't get paid back, it could blow gaping holes in the city's budget and the parish budget. But even that's not Guillory's most costly mistake. That honor goes to the ponds on Homewood Drive, a $41 million bondugo that likely won't prevent flooding. Guillory has misrepresented the science on the project, telling the council twice that UL engineers have endorsed it. They haven't. Rather than supporting Homewood, UL engineers wrote in a memo this year that the ponds are not expected to bring tangible benefit in terms of reducing flood losses along the river. So Guillory either misrepresented or misunderstood the memo, or he never even read it. That's the opposite of transparency. It's either intentional obfuscation or gross negligence. Regardless, what's so frightening about Homewood isn't just that we may be spending tens of millions on ponds that won't stop flooding, it's that they may cost even more to not get built at all. The project's currently on hold as Guillory exportations was ruled unlawful. If LCG loses that case on appeal, the city and parish will be on the hook for tens of millions more to compensate the lands with no ponds to show for it. Again, any of these projects individually justify an investigation, but together the council had to move forward with figuring out just how deep of a hole Guillory has dug for LCG, and to clearly understand what may have been done illegally. It's their job to do so. It's likely going to get ugly because Guillory has bristled at even the council's gentlest attempts at exercising its oversight duty. It's unfortunate that we've reached this point, but thankfully the city council has taken a huge step toward forcing transparency and accountability on an out of control administration. That's a win for democracy.
Wow. Now, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it first here. You know, for all those that don't get the curve, we got it here. You know.
Well, check it out. I mean, it's some things in there. I mean, these things are not what's going on, and I know a lot of people. Carol Ross, the Carol Ross show. These mega conservatives, these mega Republicans. Are they going after? Why are they going after Josh for nothing? They lost an election. It's not about anyone losing an election. It's not about because the candidate that ran against Josh, I voted for, but it's not that it's not that we going after him because we lost an election. It's not that. It's because what should be right in city and parish government should be right. If wrong is wrong, right is right. No matter how you put the two of it together, wrong is wrong, right is right. And a lot of things shouldn't have been done. The administration needs to be transparent. Mm-hmm. There's never been an administration within the city and parish of Lafayette or city parish government that has never been this untransparent as this administration is today.
Well, when he came in, you know, got in office, when he was sworn in, the first thing he did was attack the park and recreation. The people he fired, you know, how he went about doing it. It's not that because he won the election that made him better or anything like this here. It didn't make nobody else worse because those that ran against him got just as good a job as he had. The only thing he had is mayor president power, you know. So, but as far as what he's doing, you know, hey man, he even confessed it himself when he went to rehab. You know, he might have been drunk from day one.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. And they have a councilman. They have a city councilman that and I'm gonna put his name in district out there. There's city councilman Andy Nakane that expect us people, us taxpayers, us citizens, us electors, and us voters
to go along with
to sit back and be quiet.
Yeah.
To sit back and not recognize.
But yet, in all and still, he thinks that by what he's doing, you know, that's helping the people of Lafayette citizens. That's what he thinks, and all he's doing is helping Josh hurt us.
Then the thing of it is, even after a 15th judicial district court judge told him, don't dig anymore. Stop. He continued to dig.
And they dug at night at that. You know.
Continued to dig, and that may have lost the city of Lafayette a $22 million city and parish, $22 million reimbursement from the state.
Yeah. You know, we all recognize him, but now we have to do something. We have to do something about it. Election is coming up, you guys. Let's make sure that we are registered to vote so we could stop things like that from happening to us. You know, the old saying goes, you dig a hole, and you want to get out the hole, but the only way you're going to get out the hole, you got to stop digging it.
And I'm going to say this. All five councilmen, even Andy Nakane, I got to commend him for that, for riding with his fellow council members. But all five council members voted to continue to start this investigation and voted in the first phase to fund it. Now, coming back, I believe it's on the 20th, they're going to vote again to push the funding through. But the thing of it is, I was going to say, check. He refused to be transparent. Now it's $1. Now it's $1 if you want a public request. But to the councilmen, I want to say this: if you a city councilman, represent the city.
Yeah.
If you a city councilman, represent the city.
Cause,
Serve the city like you're supposed to.
Cause if I want something, you know, from public record, I'm going to my councilman.
Now, I put on Facebook a while back, back when Josh went to rehab and they was having some, the attorneys and the council was having some disagreement about the language in the charter, and Josh wrote the attorney general, and I came back and said, let's why write the attorney general when we have people here in Lafayette that sat on the board that authored the charter, and those people are starting to speak out now. Those people are Gene Kramer and Ed Abels, and they're saying we got a few minutes left, so I'm gonna wrap it up. And they're saying that Josh is in violation of the charter. He came in as mayor president, took the job, knew that he had to give up his other job, but he still continued to do side hustles, which violates the charter, because the mayor president position is supposed to be full time, and that's the only job the mayor and the parish president supposed to hold. Joey Durrell gave up his pet shop, he sold it, and Joe Robidoux had a consulting firm, he retired from it. And we're gonna wrap it up, huh?
Yeah, you know, well, I want to thank you guys, you know, for allowing us to come into your eyes, to your heart, and to your ears, and most so into your home. You know, don't forget the Okra Festival is coming this weekend. Try to get that. That's a heritage thing. You know, Ms. Janelle Shagwar started it when I brought it to her. I said, hey, look, we're having all these festivals. You know, why can't we have an Okra Festival? And Ms. Janelle snapped right into it, got into it, and started it off. You know, and with that, Keith, you know.
Thank you for letting us come into your ears, your eyes, your homes, your hearts, and your minds. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be on our second platform, KIEE 88.3, with the People's Tech and Entertainment Show, and we'll be right back here next Friday. The views and opinions that was expressed today does not reflect the views and opinions of Acadiana Open Channel, Cox Communication, LUS Fiber, LCG, or Digital Soul Media. It solely reflects the host and narrator.
Yeah, sure enough. You know, good morning, Famous Cuisine.
Yeah, we gotta say good morning to Favorite Cuisine.
Yeah, you
To
know,
Famous Cuisine.
good morning to all my folks in
Correct.
Florida, Ohio, Texas, California. They're all listening, you know. So, because when I talk to them down the road, they always tell me how we had a good show. You
Correct.
know, appreciate that, you know, for everything y'all doing for us, and we doing for y'all.
And we out till next Friday. And tomorrow you can catch the director and myself as we host the People's Tech and Entertainment Show. It starts from 9 to 11. Thank y'all.
All right. Am I done?
Oh.